You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
Fabulous.
Live with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Amazing.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
And hello, everyone. Very good day to you. You have arrived at California's #1 place to talk about our state's food and beverage scene with a local, seasonal, sustainable focus, as always. This is Eat, Drink, Explore Radio's Market Fresh Hour. It's our goal, as you know, to put you in touch with the farmers who grow, the producers who make, and the people who know about your favorite food and drink. Today's show is brought to you by the wonderful crew, exclamation point on wonderful, I'm serious, at San Luis Obispo's Sidecar Restaurant. That's on Broad Street between Higuera and Marsh, right in the heart of historic downtown SLO. A constantly changing menu is what makes this place so great. Plus a terrific staff and super fresh food. And while it is not a vegetarian or a vegan restaurant, they have a ton of those options, and they're constantly inventing things to please just about everybody. One of the dishes on their menu, well, their menu changes, so it may or may not be on there when you when you check it. But they have this vegan lasagna. It's raw, and I don't know how they do it, but they put together all these vegetables and stuff, and it is melt in your mouth great lasagna that isn't lasagna. So, but if you're a meat eater, they got plenty of that there too. So, hats off to Sidecar Restaurant. Let them know you heard about it here on the Market Fresh Hour. Eat, Drink, Explore Radio's Market Fresh Hour. Later on today's program, we'll have, of course, our weekly Farmers Market Features segment where we learn tasty tips from those in the know. And also at the bottom of the hour, grains grown right here on California's Central Coast. You never think of California as a big grain state, and it's not. But there are some local ones grown here, which I think is really cool. We'll tell you how you can get your hands on some. But first up this hour, it is our cooking tips segment. And today we feature a number of cheese recipes. I've mentioned in the past that I love cheese so much I could bathe in it. I never get to eat it, though, sadly, nowadays. But we have some tasty, creamy, melt-in-your-mouth goodness right in your own kitchen. You can make it. And the twist today is the cheese we're going to be making is 100% vegan. In fact, I think what they use on that lasagna I was talking about at Sidecar is probably similar to one of the recipes in this book that we are featuring. I've got it in my hand right here. It is The Cheesy Vegan by John Schlimm, and that's who joins us right now on the Market Fresh live line from Western Pennsylvania. John, welcome to the program.
Hey, Randall. It's so great to be with you and all of my friends out there on that beautiful Gold Coast. Even though I live here in Pennsylvania, part of my heart is out there with you.
I got to tell you, we're pretty lucky to live here.
You sure are.
Super gorgeous. Oprah did a segment one time on how happy we are living here. We're not clogged up in the cities, but we're really close to them, and we just have such a great food scene here. And the percentage of people that are cutting back on meat in their diet in this stretch of California is really high. And that includes dairy products and eggs and those sorts of things. And so I think you might get a lot of ears bending toward this segment right now, John. How did you come up with the title, The Cheesy Vegan?
Well, first of all, that's fantastic to hear, and I think people reducing the amount of meat that they're eating is really starting to trend across the country, which is great. And I loved hearing about Sidecar Restaurant and other restaurants like that are really adding more vegan and vegetarian options to their menus. So, kudos to them.
Yeah.
For me, with the Cheesy Vegan, this is my third vegan cookbook. The first one was the Tipsy Vegan, which I know you know something about. I think that would
Right.
fall under the drink part of Eat, Drink, Explore.
That's for sure.
All of my cookbooks are right in there with your Eat, Drink, Explore theme and spirit. but then grilling vegan style, and now the cheesy vegan. I seek to smash through all these silly and ridiculous stereotypes about the vegan lifestyle, that it's boring, that it's tasteless, because that's just not the case.
That we only eat grass, right?
That's right. I think they think some people out there think all we vegans and vegetarians eat is something akin to hummus smeared on cardboard using weird ingredients that you can only find in some, I don't know, obscure health food store on Mars. Well, that will never, ever be the case with my cookbooks. I just want to throw a party in a book, and I use simple, easy ingredients that, my friends and neighbors in my small little hometown here in PA can find in our grocery stores and occasionally the liquor store, of course.
I got to tell you, John.
Vegan is no exception.
I got to tell you, your book is really easy to read and fun.
Oh, thanks.
I think the people listening right now can get that from you, just from the energy coming from your voice. That really translates well to your book. And I like the way you have it divided up, and we are going to divide up the interview today in the same fashion. In the beginning of the book, you talk about what people should have in their pantry so that they have a pantry ready to go if they need to make some cheese on the fly, which really you can when it comes to vegan cheese. You can make it a lot more quickly than, traditional dairy cheese.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I write my cookbooks so that everyone from a first-time cook in the kitchen all the way to the pros and the top chefs out there can use these cookbooks. I want them to be accessible to everyone, even my more carnivorous pals out there. I want to welcome everyone. And so each of my vegan cookbooks has that pantry section in the front to really help people know what they should have in their pantry or start adding to their pantry. And again, a lot of these items may be things you already have, but if they're not, say, like vegan mayonnaise, well, I explain what vegan mayonnaise is. I talk about vegan mayonnaise. I talk about what brands are out there. And I actually, especially for my pals here in my small hometown where we don't have vegan mayonnaise in our grocery stores, I give you a homemade recipe. So if you don't want to order it, you can whip it up yourself right in the kitchen.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I got to look that part up. We do have it here in abundance. My sister is about as far from vegan as you could get, but she has stopped buying regular mayonnaise and gets that Veganaise now that comes in several different types. I think she likes the grapeseed oil one, but she prefers it.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir when you're talking about as far from vegan as possible, because I come from an area of Pennsylvania that is encompassed in the meat-eating and hunting culture. So, this is a great test audience here for me when it comes to these recipes. In fact, I grew up the son of a butcher. My dad had a meat processing business when I was younger, and I actually at ages 8, 9, 10 tried my hand working in his meat processing business. So I've kind of come full circle now in writing vegan cookbooks, but I have sort of that understanding of wanting to make sure I include everyone in these cookbooks and not have it seem weird or strange, so that people like your sister will love the recipes in these dishes and not even think of them as vegan or something that's out of the mainstream.
You sound a lot like me, John. One of the things that I try to do is whenever I have anyone over the house, I try to prepare some dishes that will fool them, where I'm not trying to trick them or anything. I just want them to eat it, say they like it, and then I tell them, oh, that's one of the things I eat all the time. It's vegan. We're speaking with author John Schlimm. You can get more information at johnschlimm.com. That's SCHLIMM. He's the author of the Cheesy Vegan Cookbook, and we're back here on Market Fresh in just a moment. And welcome back, everyone, to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network's Market Fresh Hour. It is 19 minutes past the hour. I'm your host, Randall White. Always great to have you here. And during this portion of the Market Fresh Show, we often feature a local chef or someone who can give some tips in the kitchen. And today it happens to be a cookbook author John Schlimm. author of The Cheesy Vegan, is on the line from Western Pennsylvania. He's pointed out a small town in Western Pennsylvania where vegan is not the norm. He's the son of a butcher, but has come up with some really great recipes written extremely well so that the comfort food aspect of being a vegan can be addressed. John, welcome back to the program.
I am so excited to be with you.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the items that will be needed to make any of the cheeses and then consequently any of the recipes in your book. What are some things you absolutely have to have in your pantry?
Super easy ingredients, most of them. I bet most of the listeners out there already have them. Cashews. I love cashews, and they really help, when blended, lend a great taste and flavor to a lot of the cheeses. Simple spices like onion powder and garlic powder, maybe a little paprika, lime juice. Nothing strange here.
No.
Some pine nuts. Tofu, which is available everywhere, even in my small hometown. We actually do have tofu here. Again, simple ingredients. I think a lot of your listeners have probably looked at some other homemade vegan cheese recipes that are out there, and you almost need a chemistry degree to understand how to even make these cheeses, if you can even pronounce some of the words in the ingredient list.
Right.
You're not going to have that problem with mine. I can boil my cheese recipes down to 4 simple words: mix, blend, set, and eat.
Oh, perfect. There was one ingredient that I had never purchased before. When I got your book, I ran down to, there's a store about 2 miles from my house that is one of the greatest stores in the world. And I knew they would have this. It was more expensive than I had thought, but is it pronounced agar?
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of those ingredients. It's a vegan gelatin because traditional gelatin is not vegan for a variety of reasons we're not going to get into here. But yeah, agar powder is fantastic, and that's one of those ingredients. Again, it might not be available in my small hometown, but there are a lot of online sources for it, and certainly the stores out where your listeners are, I'm sure, have it. Every once in a while, I like to put one of those kinds of ingredients into my cookbooks because I think it's important that we keep educating ourselves about some of these new ingredients. It's not exactly new, but new for a lot of listeners, perhaps, ingredients that are out there, and that really helps to hold the cheese ingredients together and give you that really great cheesy texture.
A good binding agent, something to really set it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with a quick and easy cheese recipe that somebody listening could possibly make with the stuff they have in their cabinet right now at home. What's the sort of go-to recipe for you?
Well, the cheddar recipe is super easy. It does use the agar powder, so that might be the one thing that they'll have to run out and get. But otherwise, the simplest ingredients: bottled water, cashews, pimentos, some lemon juice, onion and garlic powders, and some Dijon mustard. And that's pretty much it. It's super easy. Nutritional yeast is another thing that really should be in every vegan and vegetarian pantry, and really anyone's pantry. And that, not to be confused with brewer's yeast or any other kind of yeast. This is a yeast that has a cheesy flavor. And so, any vegans and vegetarians who are listening are going to totally be familiar with it. It's also known by its street name, which is Nooch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the street name, and really that's something you can sprinkle on salads or just about anything to add a nice little cheesy flavor. And so I use that in some of the recipes, and I'm sure you have it in your stores out there. And that's all there is to it. And again, it's basically a matter of mixing some of the ingredients, blending some of them, letting it set for a few hours, and then eat.
And you set it in the refrigerator?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That Nooch, going back to Sidecar again, the popcorn that they give you when you get there, that's, some places give you tortilla chips and salsa, bread, whatever. They give you a bowl of popcorn when you sit down at the table, and they use Nooch on it, along with some other spices and such. And you're right, it has such a great, cheesy, wonderful taste.
Yeah, and actually, the Parmesan recipes in the cookbook use Nooch and almonds and walnuts. So I have 2 recipes for Parmesan, a Parmesan walnut and a Parmesan almond. And literally, 3 ingredients in each. You have the walnuts, the nutritional yeast, and sea salt for that one. And the other one, almonds, nutritional yeast, lemon zest, and a little salt and pepper if you really want to, spike up the flavor a little bit. So again, easy, easy, easy. I want cooking to be just as fun as the eating.
Right. And when cooking is easy, that makes it a lot more fun.
That's right. Well, and I'm hearing from a lot of people that they're getting their kids in on the cheesy vegan action. Since the recipes are so easy, the kids are having fun making these recipes in the kitchen with their moms and dads or whoever else. And that just makes me beam, because I'm all about encouraging kids not only to spend more quality time and in the kitchen, but to also just be more involved in healthier lifestyles.
My mouth is watering flipping through your book right now. I haven't eaten in the last several hours, so I should never do a cookbook segment when I'm in that state. But I'm just looking at these pictures. It's so well put together, but everything looks like comfort food in here, and you would never guess that it's vegan at all. The one I just happened to stop on here is called Blue Moon Dip, and I think that could trick just about anyone coming over your house.
Absolutely, and that goes really well with the Flying Buffalo Dip. Which is actually pictured with it in there. I wanted to cover everything from breakfast and brunch right on through to supper and desserts. And, we even have full chapters of mac and cheese and a cheesecake.
And we're getting into the holidays coming up here. And when you go to a lot of parties, you get that the nut ball, the cheesy nut ball, and you have one. 'Tis the season, fruit and nut ball. Let's go over that one quickly and talk about, you started off with 2 cups of vegan cream cheese. Is that an easy one to make?
Yeah, not hard at all. That one uses tofu and again, simple ingredients, simple spices that are easy to find and that are pretty much in everyone's pantry.
I see you have 1 cup of chopped dried dates. I just was reading an article yesterday about using dates as a sweetener for people that don't want to use honey or sugar. Dates really give a nice, rich, sweet taste to whatever you're making. So a cup of chopped dried dates, 1 cup of toasted coconut, which coconut is really big right now for its health benefits, a cup of raisins, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 of almond extract. I love almond extract. 2 teaspoons of white rum. Now, here we go. Well, that says optional, but it's not optional in our house.
Vegan, it's not optional.
Right. A cup of chopped mixed nuts and 2 vegan baguettes sliced and toasted lightly. And then, as I mentioned, you started off with the 2 cups of the vegan cream cheese that you've already made.
Cream cheese is really just tofu, some canola oil, lemon juice, sugar. You have to watch with sugar because white refined sugar is not vegan. That is made with animal bone char.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's really interesting when you start looking at what's in a lot of our food. You start realizing that things that we take for granted and think are animal-free aren't necessarily. But vegan sugar is easy to find. Florida Crystal's brand is a go-to brand. And again, I talk about all that in the pantry section. And then just a little kosher salt with the cream cheese, and that's it.
I highly recommend people to get it. Like I said, you can get more information at johnschlimm.com, SCHLIMM, author of The Cheesy Vegan. John, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, you're so welcome. I will eat, drink, explore anytime with you.
That sounds good.
My favorite things to do.
Thank you, John. Stick around, everyone. We're back in just a moment.